What's up everyone, this is Jacob, welcome to Dangerville. So I'm assuming a lot of you have been waiting for some Godzilla X Kong The New Empire news, right? I'm pretty sure the last news drop that we got for the movie was back when they revealed the title teaser trailer thing, and that was back, I believe, in this last April, so we're going on about half a year with literally nothing being said about this movie, more or less. But we finally have some news to bring to you guys, so stomp that subscribe button and hit the bell if you haven't already to stay up to date on all this new Godzilla X Kong news that no doubt is about to come out. This bit of information is going to give us a very rough idea for what to expect from the movie, so make sure and stay tuned because Adam Wingard, the director of the movie, gives a bunch of bullet points of what to expect from the new empire. Now this feels like Wingard's first public appearance since this social media post from Legendary when the production for the movie first began around 2 years ago. Turns out the reason why we haven't heard from him is because he's been hanging out in his shire with a bunch of hobbits looking like a kaiju wizard over here. So this information comes from a short greeting that he pre-recorded to be used at a Chinese Cinema Lines convention event. Now I'm not going to get into all the politics surrounding that, but the Chinese market for these kaiju and monster movies has really been helping them. So if we're being honest, the MonsterVerse really does need that market if it wants to flourish. Enough of that though, let's talk about what Wingard said. As he starts talking, he calls it Godzilla Kong The New Empire.
Godzilla Kong The New Empire.
Now this is something that's really confusing Al and I. As he starts talking, he calls it Godzilla Kong The New Empire. So that's got us thinking, how do we say this X in Godzilla X Kong? Is it Godzilla X Kong The New Empire? Is it Godzilla Kong The New Empire? Is it Godzilla N Kong The New Empire? This is really like something simple and kind of silly to even be talking about, but at this point, if we don't know how to say your title, that's already like, how can you promote the movie if I can't go and tell everyone it's Godzilla X Kong or is it Godzilla Kong? Clear that up, Legendary, Jesus. Anyway, back to Adam. He thanks the Chinese audiences for helping make Godzilla vs. Kong a success and a hit, and then he goes and says Godzilla Kong again. Is this really how you say the title? He then reminds everybody that the new empire releases on April 12th of next year globally. None of this weird staggered release stuff that Godzilla -1's doing. Because you know the whole story of that movie is going to be spoiled to us once Japan gets to see it, so it's like, eh. And then he starts giving us all the juicy information of what to expect for the movie, so let's get into that. The first point he makes about the movie is that it's going to be an epic cinematic adventure.
Our epic cinematic adventure.
And that almost instantly has me sold on the movie because my favorite movies are adventure movies, whether it's The Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, back when they made good movies back in the thousands, you guys know what I'm talking about. So that's like my favorite set of movie. And kaiju movies, while they usually have a little bit of adventure, it's not much. It's usually just sit around, watch something, experience something, but the people in it aren't really adventuring or doing really anything, usually. Not always, but usually, don't get mad at me. Which leads us into the next very important part about the movie that he describes. He says it's gonna have compelling human characters.
Compelling human characters.
Now this has always been something that's been a huge issue with kaiju movies. We all want to see the monsters, we could care less about the human characters. Now, you've probably seen that, people arguing all over the internet being like, more monsters, you know, you've seen it. So he's saying that this new movie is gonna have compelling good characters that we actually care about. And I'm gonna tell you guys, we got to see the first 5 episodes of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the new Apple TV show monster thing, about to come out here soon. Stay tuned for that, by the way. And I'm gonna tell you here right now that Alistair and I think that show potentially has the best human characters, if not in all of Godzilla entertainment, potentially all of kaiju entertainment. And that's not just us fanboying. They actually did a really good job with human characters and they make you actually want to see them. You're not annoyed when they're on screen. So hopefully some of that from the TV series carries on over into the new Empire movie. And yet still, I know a ton of you won't give a crap about the human characters, and oh well, I guess, but this next part's gonna have you excited. He goes on to say that the movie's going to feature spectacular new monsters.
Spectacular new monsters.
We already know the movie's going to have the Scar King or Orangutan, what we've been calling him, and we know that it's going to have the Shimo, which is kind of like a leaked monster that we're not supposed to know about, but we already do, so they might as well just share it officially so we could officially talk about it and not feel like I'm giving you guys secret espionage information here. So we know about those 2 monsters, so I wonder if there's going to be more beyond them. I'd imagine so. There is a rumor that a returning classic monster is going to be coming back as well, so if you're looking forward to see monsters both new and old, you're probably going to get that. So if we get good human characters and good monsters, hopefully we can all, you know, get along for once and stop arguing over which monster movie's the best. They're all good, man. And on top of having spectacular new monsters, he says it's going to have more explosive monster showdowns.
More explosive monster showdowns.
That's pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna get a lot of kaiju action, probably along the lines of what we've seen in Godzilla vs. Kong, considering it's the same director. And that's a good thing because that movie was rushed and I'm pretty sure it went through development hell in a way. So to actually get to see a movie that didn't have to deal with all that BS that was going on at that time, I think we might get like a really intense monster fight constantly, like not even at the end of the movie, like throughout the whole movie. I think it's going to be great. I'm excited to see what they're going to dial in next, because it's getting to the point after watching about 700 monster movies that I'm like, what can they really do to like, oh, I haven't seen that before, you know? And if you're really into action movies, I think you're gonna love this movie because he yet again goes on to say non-stop action.
Non-stop action.
And that's a strategy that he used for Godzilla vs. Kong. Originally, that movie was supposed to be much more chatty, a lot more like lore and dialogue in it, which I think would have been a good thing. But at the time, Adam Wingard was very, very adamant about making the movie short and streamlined and just focusing on the monsters. So I guess that's his approach. It worked for Godzilla vs. Kong. Let's see if it works again. And now this last point gets me the most excited about the movie, because he goes on to actually make a point of saying that the movie is going to have awe-inspiring landscapes.
Awe-inspiring landscapes.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but whenever I'm watching a movie and it goes into the crazy montage where it's like just like a minute of epic view shots of like mountains and scenery and land, I prefer real stuff, but even CGI that's well made, like we've seen in the Hollow Earth and Godzilla vs. Kong, that was still pretty cool. I wanted to see more of that. I could have seen Kong run through the Hollow Earth for about 20-30 minutes of that movie more if they wanted to. So I'm assuming that's what he's getting on about here, is that we're going to see a lot more of the Hollow Earth and a lot more variety in the Hollow Earth. But I do know that they also filmed at a lot of real locations around our real world, so I'm excited to see that and see a nice blend of both fake and reality. I think that'll be cool. But I love the Lord of the Rings movies, and so naturally I love epic scenery shots, and that has me super excited yet again. I'll keep telling you, it has me stoked. It just does.
It will leave you on the edge of your seat from start to finish.
And the last thing he claims that the movie's gonna do is that it's gonna keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time. You're gonna be so into it, you're gonna just not be able to take your eyes away, which is pretty dang exciting. I like the sound of that. Hopefully it lives up to that sort of hype, because that's kind of a big deal. If you can get someone to actually be into what they're watching to the point to where they're actually like, oh wow, like they're truly invested in what's going on, that's pretty much how you really succeed and have a really special hit on your hands. So hopefully it's not just the director trying to toot his own horn, and it actually is like that, right?
Godzilla Kong, the New Empire.
And then he goes and calls it Godzilla Kong again. I just don't understand. That doesn't grammatically sound correct. Hey man, you're gonna go watch Godzilla Kong? And that's it, guys. It's not much, but it's a little bit. And in this day and age, a little bit is more than nothing. And the info he gave was very basic, definitely read from a script that no doubt was written by one of Legendary's cronies. It kind of came across like a pro athlete interview, to where they're just not giving you any real response. They sound like a bunch of robots. You know, they're asked the question, something along the lines of, oh, how do you feel about your team's performance today? And they're like, we worked hard, we played good, blah, 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 and they just give you all the to-the-book answers. This is definitely around that sort of level of what he was trying to give across to us as the viewers, but, you know, I get it. He's probably recorded like 10 or more of those for different countries around the world, and he's just speeding through it at this point, being like, oh my god, you know, he's forced to do that stuff as part of his contract with Legendary, I'm sure. So yeah, it didn't sound all that authentic, and he was definitely reading off of a prompt, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not doing that right now, but a lot of our videos I'm reading off of a script, obviously, so I can't give him a hard time too much. But anyway, out of all the points about the New Empire that Adam gave to us, which one has you the most excited? I already told you guys how it was the scenic landscapes that we're gonna get. That's got me the most excited, but maybe that's not got you the most excited, so let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video and you feel like I earned it, make sure to share it around to get the algorithm all fired up. It really seems like YouTube and the internet's trying to hold the kaiju stuff down right now, so we gotta fight against them. They're too busy trying to promote, I don't know, Mr. Beast or something. So anyway, guys, you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next one.